tribal trails. The Son of God, He's near. He chose to walk with us these tribal trails. Tribal trails.
Welcome. I'm glad that you tune into Tribal Trails today. I'm sure this program won't leave you untouched. Often we are hurt by others and we need to decide to forgive this person. The Bible speaks about forgiving each other. The disciples asked Jesus, how often are they supposed to forgive? And Jesus answered them that they need to always forgive. When we don't want to forgive, we sometimes use the expression to carry a grudge. This is a good metaphor that makes it clear that the one who hurt you doesn't carry the load, but the one who doesn't forgive carries it. It's interesting, in counseling, it is also suggested to forgive somebody else because the one who can't forgive is suffering much more than the one who caused the hurt. Some time ago, we interviewed Helda in Sudbury, Ontario. In a previous program, she shared about her life's challenges and how she submitted her life to the Lord and experienced healing. Today, she talks about a very personal, emotional, and traumatic experience that changed her life. Let's listen to Elda, telling her story to our host, Rita Anderson.
So you went to Bible college, and you spent 1 year there.
Yes.
And did you complete your program?
Not at that time. Like I was just new in the Lord. My roots were not deep in God, so I fell away. I moved back to the reserve, and one of my friends came into this village, and she says, well, I'm looking for a babysitter. And at that time, I couldn't find a job on the res, so it's really hard to find a job as a young person. So I thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity, but I know deep inside there was something wrong, don't go. But I didn't listen to that voice.
Yeah.
So I went anyways because I knew code. I was going to make money. So I left with my girlfriend. So she asked me to babysit for her daughter. So while she went to work. So that was the
in Toronto?
In Toronto, yes. Oh. Toronto, Ontario. So that was the initial intention, was to go to Toronto and babysit. But she realized, oh no, she should go find a job too. So it worked out somehow. Like I did night shift and she did day shift, so I would babysit just a little bit in between. So anyways, the first 3 weeks that I lived there, I got molested in my sleep.
In the apartment?
Yes.
Oh.
What happened is that the guy that was staying with us, he lost his key, so I had to leave the door open. Oh. So I left it. So I figured, well, I'm just gonna leave the door unlocked, so I don't have to wake me up, you know.
Because back home you could do that.
Yeah, but not in the city.
Not in Toronto.
So that was like on the third week in September on a Wednesday night, and I remember so vividly, just like yesterday. It happened yesterday. And at that time, I thought I was having a bad dream. And I kept telling this guy, leave me alone, but he wouldn't leave me alone, he wouldn't stop. And so anyways, when he was all done, I was shocked. I couldn't move from my bed. When finally I did, I went straight to the bathroom and I tried to wash all the dirt off that I...
And he left right away afterwards?
Yeah. So that's what I did. I tried to wash myself off, but it didn't work. I just felt so dirty. So the next day I went to work, wore a long sleeve, long shirt. Nobody won't know. I figured nobody's not gonna know. I didn't want nobody to know because it was shameful what happened. So anyways, when I was at work, there was these Christian couples that work in the same place, and not once did they ever preach to me, but they would come to my working area and they would say, "Hi, how are you doing?" That's all they would say, like very friendly. And I could see the peace of God in their lives, and I can see my own life so miserable. And I would think about that place, and I'm thinking, God, I would like to come back, but not in broken pieces like this.
Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest."
That first night, like I would cry myself to sleep, thinking, no, it's just a bad dream. Tomorrow I'll wake up and I won't remember. It's just a bad dream. But I knew there's something did happen that night, but I was in denial. I didn't want to accept it.
It was too hurtful.
Yes. So anyway, December came, and the same couple, they go, oh, there's a Christmas banquet in Six Nations, Ontario. This is off Toronto, right? Another reserve. She goes, why don't you come with us? I go, I don't really want to. So finally they talked me into it. I said, okay. So I went down, a big smile, thinking like letting nobody know what's going on in my. And I couldn't even tell my best friend what had happened. And so anyways, when we went down to that banquet, I remember sitting in that chair at that banquet table, and I was just feeling the pain and the hurt in me. And this lady from my right, she came towards me, and she just put her arms around me. And she says, God knows your struggles, and God is going to bring you through. And that sort of kind of gave me hope.
In a world of hurting people that don't know where to go, some would like to help them, some just don't know what it's like to feel the pain that wounds of sin have brought along. Like a boy that don't know his daddy, 'cause the marriage has gone wrong. Some think they could end it, take their life with their own hands. Heart so full of questions, a life that makes no sense. Others drown their sorrow at bottles where they hide, hoping to quench the thirst of their pain deep inside. But Jesus knows your pain. His love is reaching out to you. You are the reason he came. Just take his hand. He will lead you through. On a hill called Calvary, they crucified a man. He should not have suffered. He had no sin. But so many hurting people were depending on his grace. So on a cross meant for you and me, Jesus took our place. But Jesus knows your pain. His love is reaching He will lead you through. But Jesus knows your pain.
Shortly after that, then I found out that I was pregnant. So I thought about, okay, what are my options? Abortion? I don't know why. I don't think I can do that. Give him up for adoption. So that was the direction I was going to go. I'm going to give him for adoption because I didn't want no part of him because of the abuser. I just felt part of him growing on the inside of me.
Oh,
So, anyways, when I was going through this stuff, there's this point in my life where I had so much hatred for this man. I'm thinking, he hurt me, I'm going to hurt him more. I'm going to take his life. Well, I was thinking about that, and I could just overhear this conversation. They're not even talking to me. and these guys were talking, and this guy was saying, and I think he was explaining a verse in the Bible. He was saying, 2 wrongs don't make right. And those words just hit me like that. And that's when I realized I knew that I had to forgive. I said, Jesus, you're going to have to help me here because I can't do it.
Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you may have against one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity.
Yeah, so every day I prayed. I said, God, help me to forgive him. Help me to forgive him. And I eventually did forgive him. It took me a long time. And so I decided to keep him as my own. So he was born in Kingston Hospital. When I heard his first cry, I just fell in love with him. His cry sounded so beautiful. But when I saw him, I didn't see the abuser. I saw his own little personality,
yeah.
his own little individuality.
Children are a gift from the Lord. They are a reward from Him.
And that's when I said, God, you're gonna have to help me raise him. And he did. He's been a father to the fatherless. And I've experienced that time and time again in my own life with my son.
Yeah.
Sing to God, sing praise to His name. Extol Him who rides on the clouds. His name is the Lord, and rejoice before Him. A father to the fatherless, a defender of widows, is God in His holy dwelling.
When the weight of this world crashes down on you, God will listen to you. When the sky turns black and your thoughts turn blue, He will listen to you. He will listen to you. Always listen to you. He understands how His children feel. He will listen to you. When a light explodes in a world gone wrong, God will listen to you. And your heart beats strong with a grateful song. He will listen to you. He will listen to you. Always listen to you. He understands understands how his children feel. He will listen to you. When the river of tears cannot be contained, God will listen to you. You're like a drowning man in the pouring rain. He will listen to you. He will listen to you. Always listen to you. He understands how his children feel. He will listen to you. He will listen to you. Always listen to you. He understands how his children feel. He will listen to you. He will listen to you. He will listen to you.
I've never been on the Facebook, right? So it was just like 6 years ago I started going on Facebook. Okay. Like I'm not really technically in time to computers. But anyways, my son sets me up, right? To open the account, so I started Facebook, adding people to my Facebook.
Yeah.
So 2015, I get this request on the Facebook, and it was the man that abused me. He says, "I'm so sorry." It took me a while to respond to him. Go, what am I gonna do? Do I accept it? So I, really prayed about it. I said, Lord, I don't know to go with this. So 3 days later, I decided, okay, I'm gonna let him see what he's gonna have to say. So I accepted him on the Facebook. So we started communicating. I said, yeah, you have a son. So we started talking, conversing about him and stuff. I told him, I says, I forgive you. I says, what you've done. I says, I know you've hurt me really bad. I said, but I've forgiven you. I says, I don't want anything of you or from you. I says, but I also want to let you know that you have a son that you brought into this world. So he says, oh, okay, I'll give you some money. I go, no, I don't want money. He says, you want money? So you give it to your son. I don't want nothing from you. So he says, okay, I want us to meet. So,
Oh, he
okay.
said that? Oh.
Yeah, so 6 months later, we met, and it was at Tim Hortons. He says, well, meet us at Tim Hortons. Well, he has 2 other children with him. He says, meet us at Tim Hortons. I said, okay. So I brought my son. And that was the first time they met, father and son met each other. I gave him his baby picture.
Oh.
He had a big smile on him. But it was really awesome though. Like there was no hatred, there was no anger, there was nothing there. It's like, God was there. And my son, and before that my son would meet him, and I would encourage, like I knew that he was kind of, debating, should I come and meet you guys or not, or should I not? You know how, sometimes they have a apprehension. So anyways, I keep reminding him, no, I says, I think you'll be okay. He'll be okay when you guys meet face to face. But I don't know, deep inside, he was going to punch him out. I didn't know what my son's reaction would be.
Yes.
At the same time, I'm trying to comfort him, telling him it's going to be okay. Yeah. But it did go okay. Well, so
Okay.
smooth. They connected with each other and find information about each other. But to this point, I don't know where they're at, though. Yeah. So at least I made my peace with him, and he made his peace. So, So anyways, because I was involved with young women with at different pregnancy crisis center, that I would counsel them about their pregnancy. And I'm thinking, well, maybe, I don't know, sometimes God, you know, how's that verse go? He turns evil for good on our lives, something like that. Like he turns it around.
Yeah.
What meant for evil, he turns it to good.
Yes.
So I decided that, well, I'm going to write my own personal testimony, and I'm going to share this story to different pregnancy centers that I know. Yeah. So that's what I did. But before I could even do that, I said, I had one-to-one talk with my son. I says, how does this make you feel? I says, I'm not going to go forward if you say no. If you don't like it, I says, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. He says, no, Mom, do it.
What's his name?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's a really good guy.
Yeah.
It's really a blessing.
Yes. This was a heavy subject, but we live in a world where things happen, and these things do happen. And maybe you're a young person that this has happened to. And Hilda turned to the Lord in her anguish, her hurt, and found comfort. So I pray for you that somewhere, somehow, you would be able to find comfort in your life, that Jesus would help you, restore you, and bring you that point of healing in your life that you need, a point where you will forgive. I know that's hard. I know that's extremely hard, just how Hilda said, it's not easy, but it's harder to hang on to that anger. So I pray for you that God would lead you and guide you in this. God bless.
What an amazing testimony. Thank you very much, Hilda, for sharing this with us. We often don't understand the ways of God in our lives. Hilda said, in her life, God turned evil into good. She talked about how she was an encouragement to other ladies who went through similar situations. But she could only help others after she realized that she needed to forgive. She needed to forgive the offender for his wrong. But she couldn't do this on her own. She needed Jesus Christ to do this in her life. She knows God and she trusts Him to do what He is able to do in her life, what she could never do on her own. Hilda mentions in verse 20 in Genesis 50, Joseph says to his brothers, as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to accomplish what is now being done to save many people alive. Many years ago, when they were young, Joseph's brothers were jealous of him, and they wanted to get rid of him. They sold him as a slave, and he ended up in Egypt. In Egypt, he was sold to some public official. He ended up in jail, but later he finally became one of the rulers, second only to Pharaoh. What a career! God was always with him. When his family was starving to death, and they came to Egypt to buy food, Joseph could help them. God prepared him for this time of need. But how could he ever help his family after all that they've done to him? It was only because he was able to forgive them. Not because he was such a noble man, but because God worked this in him. He saved their lives because he humbled himself under God and trusted Him. Hilda is helping to save lives. She is an encouragement to other ladies who need to decide if they want to carry out their pregnancy and give birth to their babies. But Hilda could only do this because she forgave the person who hurt her so deeply. She humbled herself under God and trusted Him. If you are touched by her story and want to talk to someone, call us. We'd love to hear from you.
Come out of sadness from wherever you've been. Come broken-hearted, let rescue begin. come find your mercy. O sinner, come kneel. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. So lay down your burdens, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your face. Oh, wanderer, come home. You're not too far. So lay down your hurt, lay down your heart. Come as you are. There's hope for the hopeless and all those who've strayed. Come sit at the table, come taste the grace. There's rest for the weary, rest that endures. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't cure. So lay down your burdens, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your face. Oh, wanderer, come home. You're not too far. So lay down your hurt, lay down your heart. Come as you are. Come as you are. Fall in his arms. Come as you are. There's joy for the morning. O sinner, be still. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. Earth has no sorrow that heaven